Is that right?
Hey everybody, this is Dan McCarthy, and we're here at the 2017 NFAA Dakota Classic, the last leg of the three-star tour. I'm here with Tim Gillingham. Tim, how's it going today?
Not too bad, Dan. I guess it would have been going better if you and I weren't sitting here, but
Yeah, well, you know, we shot great yesterday. We both dropped a point. We both got eliminated in the first round of head-to-head matches. It's a little different game. Both of us shot good scores,
Yep.
but, you know.
I was happy with the way I shot. I mean, I just bumped my trigger on accident, shot one in the back wall. Kind of embarrassing, but it happens.
Yeah, well, we've all had these moments. But here we're getting down to the finals. I believe we're at the top 8 for the men. We're at the final 16 for the women and the top 8 for the seniors.
That's what it looks like. Yep. And just a full field of talent. You know, you just watch Steve take Jesse out last stand. I mean, just one arrow. I mean, guy missed one arrow and got put down. So.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. It's really.
And you watch guys that struggled yesterday. I mean, Henry, for example. I mean, he struggled, barely made the cut, and now he's sitting here in the top 8. So I mean, it just this shoot-off format allows somebody to just getting the qualification scores.
Sure, and it really matters when you miss them. I mean, you have people move on. Sometimes, like I got eliminated with a 148, dropped 3 points this whole week and get bumped out. You know, and a 148 would have made it through in just about every other match that was up there. But it's just it's this game. It's this head-to-head game, and it's different. But it gives you that opportunity to kind of have an off round, or in Jesse's case, he's had one off shot and gets pays for it. It's just so. It's grueling. It's stomach turner. I don't know how I feel about it sometimes, you know.
Well, I mean, I think it's sometimes bad for the archer, but great for archery. You know, it's good to have more people feel like they have a chance. If you always go to pure score, then maybe Mike Slosser would take all the money.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
So,
I mean, you're on both ends of it, so it's just. I think some days you're really glad that you're shooting a head-to-head round, because you can move on with a 146 or something, and you never would have been in competition if it was just cumulative score. So when that happens, you're like, hooray for head-to-head matches, and then when you're in Jesse's shoes and you make one mistake all weekend, you get bumped out, you're like, ugh. You know, it's tough to watch. It's tough to swallow sometimes, and then at other times you're just like, whew, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple strategies. You either got to get lucky, or you got to shoot like Mike and Steve and just never miss. You know?
Yep, no doubt.
You know, so that probably has a little bit better odds.
Man, so we're out here in Yankton, South Dakota, at the Easton Archery Complex. I've shot in a lot of indoor facilities. The lighting in here is amazing.
We're just talking to Bruce Cole about it. The amount of lumens in here is just ridiculous. He said it's like the lighting bill is about $3,000 a month. So I can believe it.
I can too. It's just really bright. It's really well lit in here. It's a great place for a tournament. Like I said, it's quick, ready.
Yeah. They're nice and decent. Because Sunday got to
Yeah. Bigfoot, is that what you're talking about? I'll be shooting that also on Sunday.
Right.
So I believe we're finishing up.
Yeah, I'm not sure
practice.
Exactly. Are we where we're at on this match here? So. Right in front of us here, we got Emily. Emily, your beautiful bride.
What's going on? All right, guys, we're back. Right now, for the final 8, we're looking at a head-to-head match against Steve Anderson and Mike Schlosser. And let me see here, I don't have the women's. Sorry, guys, for the difficulties here. We're trying to. I don't know what this means. Yeah, what about all the women there? So they're practicing still? All
right, we got Steve Anderson here, just have been on a roll all year this year. I don't think he's actually missed today at all, so. And the target looks really impressive, so. Steve Anderson won NFA Indoor Nationals, just, took it away from everybody in the finals there. Looks like he's right on track to do well here.
So it's Steve versus okay. All right, so right now, the matches that we have taking place, we have Steve Anderson versus Rio Wild. We have Mike Schlosser versus Richard Bowen. Braden Gillentine versus Chris Schaff. Henry Bass versus Stefan Hansen. Paul Penrod versus Benton Christensen. D. Wild versus Mike Jablonski. Darren Collins versus Chris Berry. Ron Barnt versus Alan Reddick. And Zoe Thompson versus Vern Nelson.
That was Rio on the screen there. Looks like Rio and Steve are they all tied up right now, huh? So that'll probably go to a single arrow shoot-off. Looked like the target. It was a clean round, so a lot of these matches at the end here are going to get decided by a single arrow closest to center. So when the shooters shoot 3 rounds and they're still tied.
Well, right now we have Steve Anderson's at 100 and Rio's at a 98.
Oh, Rio's at a 98. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's going to put Steve in. I was looking at the screen wrong there. So Steve's definitely got that. He hadn't missed one all day then. So.
Yeah, he's pretty much pounding him in the middle.
Looks to me like Braden and Henry, where they sit, or Braden and Chris Schaff.
So right now we have, that's a pretty close match. Braden Gillentine is sitting at a 99 and Chris Schaff is at a 98. So only 1 point separating.
I think that match is all tied up now. So let me look.
Stefan Hansen has Henry Bass by 1 point, and Mike Schlosser is sitting at a clean 100, has a 2-point lead over Richard Bowen currently.
Yeah, I think Chris is probably going to lose that match because it looks like those guys are clean down there. So both Chris shot all X's that round, and Braden has a close one. I can't tell from here, but.
Yeah, Steve's just rolling through this head-to-head match. I believe he shot a 94 yesterday, so
yeah,
was
Steve,
6 off. But,
Steve,
which is a perfect example of kind of what we were talking about. You can have an off day yesterday during the qualifying round and then get your head right. And, Steve can definitely hammer.
Yeah, Steve just ruins my dialogue of tall people can't aim with a back tension, man. He kills me, man. The dude's been railing.
So we're going to have a shoot-off with Braden Gillentine and Chris Schaff.
Okay.
Both tied with a 148.
Yeah, both impressive shooting. Chris has been just shooting impressive this year. He shot the high qualification score down at the Arizona Cup, and I believe it was a new record. I mean, he just crushed it. Can't say enough about Mike Schlosser, another 150, Steve Anderson, another 150. These guys haven't missed today, so that's probably a pretty good strategy, you think, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Miss the first day when it doesn't really matter, and roll through the head-to-head matches. And for those people not familiar with the format, we shot a qualification round the first day out here, which was yesterday and Friday. They had some rounds, qualifications you could shoot on Friday or on Saturday. And at the end, you were seeded, depending on your class. They took the top 32 in the men's, top 16 in the women's, or the top, maybe it was 32, I believe, even in the women, but they didn't fill the field.
Right, right. I'm not sure exactly.
Etc. But we shoot 20 arrows at 40 yards, 20 arrows at 50 yards, and 20 arrows at 60 yards. So it's out of a total 600. And then the people that make it for the cuts are seeded, and then we shoot bracket head-to-head single elimination on Sunday, and that's what's taking place right now.
Yeah, it looks like in the senior pro, Benton Christensen has just been on a roll all year. Benton's a local guy from where I live in Utah, and I mean, when it was funny when he switched over to an index, the guy just started on fire, 'cause he's just been rolling really well all year. Won indoor nationals. I think that's his first big win, and you can just see it in him. He's just confident, shooting really well.
So we got down to the top 8. We were at the top 8 there for the men's, and look at the shooting. I mean, we had 3 clean rounds. Stefan Hansen shoots a clean 150. Mike Schlosser shoots a 150, and Steve Anderson shoots a 150 to move on. That's starting to get
never heard of those guys.
Be pretty stout shooting. And then the senior pro, we had Darren Collins shoots a 148, which is a solid head-to-head round.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I think I can hang.
Yeah.
48 in July, so, it's getting close.
Yeah. Wow. Are you going to move up?
I don't know.
I doubt you will.
I don't know. I'm kind of hard-headed. So, I got something to prove,
Yeah. Well, you shoot well. Enjoy shooting against you. All right, so they're going to repair everybody in the brackets, and we'll see what we're looking at for matches.
It's like Ron Bart from Montana took out Alan Ruddick in the senior pro, and Zoe Thompson took out Brian Nelson. So your final 4 senior pros are going to be Benton Christensen, Mike Jablonski out of Michigan, Darren Collins out of Missouri, Ron Barn out of Montana, and Zoe Thompson out of Minnesota.
All right, so we have a single arrow shoot-off, Braden Gillentine versus Chris Schaff, 148 and 148. Looks like Chris, they're not following it with the cameras, but Chris Schaff did win that match.
Yeah, it looks pretty like there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he pretty much stuffed it. 6 o'clock X.
Very talented shooter. Those guys live up in Montana, and there's about 5 or 6 of them up there that are just top-notch shooters, and they push each other and you see talent out of their area.
Braden Gillentine eliminated shot really in every match he's competed in. He shot really well. And Chris is wow. I mean, he shot his best run out here that he's ever shot, which was 2 down. Yeah. Which is a heck of a round, and looks holding his own here, doing really well.
He's got a new baby to support now, Nice guy, too. We actually just signed him on with Gold Tip this year. Pretty happy to have him on board. He's a talented shooter and a nice nice guy. A real good representative to his sponsors. They don't have tablets. Are they in here?
All right, so unfortunately, we do have women shooting off, but we don't have, they're not using tablets. They didn't use them for part of it. So we don't have the scores. Do we have to hit refresh or something?
Why are, why are there 10 senior pros?
We're gonna
We got obstacles now.
two, so they can have two gold medal maxers. More winners, more people are happy.
Okay.
Okay. But they haven't shot any arrows or scored yet.
No, this is for the next match.
Okay.
So we just tell them what they got left. Okay, so we're into the semifinals in senior pro in the pro and Chris Schaff. Winner in the quarterfinals still. You have Linda Choa, it looks like has a bye. Sarah Sonneson has a bye. And Tanya Jensen has a bye. So the matches will be Emily McCarthy against Holly Larson, Cassidy Cox against Kaylee Geist, Madison Hart against Brianna Theodore, Lexi Keller against Paige Gore, and Sarah Lance against Jamie Bonata. So should be some good matches there.
Hey, Chris, can we get you a sample of photos? Can we take one? So we're looking right here at Linda. Linda's shot really well. She was a top qualifier for the women's. I believe she was at 8 down, I think, for a qualifying round.
I'm not 100%. She always looks so stoic, you know, like she's.
Yeah, she shot really well. And these matches take place at 60 yards. 15 arrows, 3 ends, 5 arrows. And if there's a tie, it goes into a 1 arrow closest to center shoot off. So we'll be back in a few minutes here when we actually get started with the finals. What did you say? Use my neighbor name.
What's that?
I said, did you just say something about
I said, I told my wife, me and Danny are commentating world archery. She was texting me. It's like people are making fun of you. I hate when they do that.
Who's making fun of
All right, we got targets set now. We're fixing to start these next matches. So everybody's getting to the line. We got the women in front of us now. We got Dan's lovely wife here. You get nervous watching her?
Yeah. I think I'm watching through the monitor, so I'm not as
Yeah, sure. Yep. Phenomenal competitor. Like just with each other drive. Very talented shooter. Now, there's not much. This is going to be some pretty tight matches, I would expect.
All right, so Lynn's got a bye, so you see her practicing off the side here by herself. She has black for this round. And we're going to have Holly watching against Lynn Carton, Haley Beck against Kathy Powell, Madison Martin versus Brianna Nielsen, and Sarah Thompson also has a bye. Lexi Keller versus Paige Orr, Sarah Lance versus Jamie Vanetta, and Tanya Nixon also has a bye. So we have 3 byes in each round. Top 3 qualifiers all got byes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we have any movement in the men's pro ranks here from the looks of it. There's one close one on Stephen Hansen. Well, actually, looks like Mr. Perfect missed one there.
Yeah.
Just one. So, got Paige Gore in front of us here. Jamie Vanetta. Both very, very renowned shooters. Oh yeah, yeah. I've shot tournaments with both Janie and just some shooters. You know, some of the better international shooters, the manufacturers have put up some pretty good contingency. You have pretty stock-filled of shooters here. Stefan Hansen is. They've made their way to some of the top 3D events even this year and doing quite well in them. So. I've always said that incentive drives everything. So, if we can figure out a way to get enough money in archery, you're just going to draw bigger and bigger fields and stronger fields. People work that much harder at it.
Yeah, there's already a considerable amount of support from.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah.
If you can't find incentive to go now.
Yeah.
You probably should be doing something else.
It's tough. I mean, it's a tough thing to break into because it does take a lot of money to get going. And
yeah, I'm just saying if you can't grab a bow, grab a little tournament to
sure.
Potentially win 20 grand, I don't think it's going to matter if it's a little more.
Right. Well, you're starting to see college programs start to take off. It's all just slowly, incrementally growing. The 3D Scholastic program is putting a lot of kids into, from their introductory level into their first bows in competitive archery, and starting to get colleges out recruiting and picking up shooters, and that'll just continue to grow, I think.
All right, we have some scores coming in here. We have Chris Shaw took a 1-point lead over Stephen Hansen, 15-49. And Steve Anderson and Mike Smolker are both tied at 49.
both Steve and Mike missed on that end. That's the first one. I guess the tension's up.
Why are we not getting Benton Christensen's score or Mike Jablonski's score? We have 0-0. Okay.
Okay, we're into round 2 here on this final semifinal shoot-off for the men and the quarterfinals for the women. Solid shot there by Linda Ochoa. Anderson.
See Stefan switching releases. Sometimes he's shooting a hinge. Sometimes he's shooting a button here.
Really, he switches mid-round.
Yeah, I've seen him shooting a hinge. He shot a hinge at indoor nationals for the head-to-head stuff. And here he's shooting a button.
I've seen guys do that. Levi Morgan used to do that, and I mean, I can't ever make them hit the same. Not that you'd ever catch me dead with a hinge. Let's watch Chris Schaff here. Solid form. He's got the pink elite bow there. Looked like a good shot. Look at Stefan's stabilizer there, just not even moving. Pick up Stefan and Mike's bows, and I'm like, I don't even know how these guys can hold them up.
The front weight on the stabilizer.
It's incredibly heavy.
There's a lot of weight out there.
I can't tell if it's leverage or those guys are just strong as an ox.
I think they're spending a lot of time with it until you get used to it.
Yeah, I've tried that a couple times, and I'm good for about 6 or 7 shots, and then I start folding up inside of myself.
Start hitting a little low, probably.
Oh yeah, I just feel like my left shoulder's about to blow. All right, so we got the scoring from the first match on Senior Pro, Benton Christensen and Mike Jablonski. Benton did take a 1-point lead over Mike.
49-48.
Yep. Again, Benton's shooting strong. I mean, shooting really well. Looks like
Stefan Hansen has them all in there. Chris missed 2.
Chris missed a couple.
He's got one other close one at 3 o'clock, but I believe that has it.
That'll put Stefan back in the lead by 1.
Yep.
So this one's going to go down to the final. So
I think almost every one of these matches in the men's is going to be within a point.
Oh,
or so. It's going to get tight. You shoot a 148 at this level, and you're opening the door for a loss.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You can get lucky every once in a while and match up against and get by with a single arrow or something, but yeah, you miss 2 and.
I mean, really, you miss 1, you're opening the door. But at this level, pressure gets a little higher too.
Sure.
We're probably not gonna see 150 shot in these final 2 matches, final 3 matches.
Yeah, I mean, you see that at World Archery too. I mean, we're shooting 5 yards closer at World Archery, so and you don't see that many 150 matches. We're 5 yards further now, so you're gonna see a couple more points drop. Same size target, so.
And at this point, this is you start to end up with some endurance issues too. At this later, we're shooting 15 arrows for practice, 15 or 20 arrows for practice, and then you do your first match, which is another 15, and then another match, and now we're at another match. I mean, these guys are pushing 60 arrows to 75 arrows already at this point, and they've still got a few matches to go. Most of us shoot a lot, but I've seen it happen where people start to get a little fatigued.
Yep, that's important to training. A couple 200, 300 arrows a day. Sometimes I'll put 300 arrows a day through paper. I look at it as, it's a prerequisite of getting my tuning done, but it also gets me in shape too.
Hopefully you're tuning 30 different bows if you're shooting 300 arrows through paper.
Well, it depends,
Sounds like a nightmare.
You got to tune arrows too,
No doubt.
I have a long draw length. My IBO setup's just,
I bet it is tough tuning something. I've never had to have the trouble of trying to tune a 360 foot per second bow.
Well, me either.
You know, 293 is about where I cap my stuff off.
Well, you know, it has its pros and cons.
All right, so we have some more scores trickling in. We have Darren Collins, who took a 2-point lead over Ron Bart, 97-96. Steve Anderson is tied with Mike Schlosser, and Chris Schaff is 1 point behind Stefan Hansen, 98-99. And Steve Anderson and Mike Schlosser, I didn't say a score on that, they're both 99, so they've both dropped 1 point. And in the women's, we have Holly Larson takes a 2-point lead over Emily McCarthy, 98-96. Kaylee Geist.
It's good to see her do good. She's a young girl, you know. Lost her dad last year. It was really sad, but she's got a good attitude and just wish the best for her.
Well, she's 1 point behind Cassidy Cox, currently 99-98. And Madison Hart takes a 2-point lead over Brianna Theodore, 95-93. Lexi Keller's 3 points behind Paige Gore, who's leading that match, 98-95. And Sarah Lance, who's only dropped 1 point, she's shooting great, 99, has a 3-point lead over Jamie Van Natta, who's currently at a 96.
That's pretty strong. Sarah's a great shooter.
And there is, you know, just so people don't forget, Linda Ocha Anderson, Sarah Sonichson, and Tanya Jensen are also all still in this, but we're not saying their names because they are receiving buys for this round. So you see them on the monitor. They're currently just able to practice for this round, but I don't want to leave them out because they were the top 3 qualifiers for the women, but they received buys for this first round of elimination. So here we go. This is the final in of this round of elimination. This will cut the men's down to the top 2 and the senior pro down to the top 2, and it'll cut the women down to the top 8, correct?
Correct. Linda looks so focused, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she shoots a really good, smooth shot. Good follow through, good everything.
I'm sure she started very young.
I was probably as excited as I've ever seen Mike get over a shot. He was like, I don't know if it hit dead center, but it's probably pretty center.
I shot with Mike at Vegas, and he was just on fire. And there's like, it's expressionless.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Watch this. It's gonna go. Oh. Yeah, that's probably right in the middle.
He couldn't affect that shot if he wanted to. I mean, that bow's probably 10.5 pounds.
Yeah, he shoots a really relaxed shot compared to like Steve here. Steve's gonna shoot a really aggressive shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, more explosive in the front arm and the follow through.
I watched Steve at Indoor Nationals, and when he was into the top 3, it's just like you could just sense it. He just took charge of it and just took it. It was good to watch. Watch Steve come up, you know, through the ranks, and he's out from, you know, and come out of Idaho, you know, out close where I live, and I was like, who's this guy? Well, he come raging onto the scene.
Oh yeah, and Steve's an athlete too, so he's been competing his whole life.
Yep. He can play basketball.
He's got the attitude for it. He knows that you got to go. You got to take it. You got to go take it.
Looks like he's got one out there. So, but also Mike's got one out too, huh? Is that who?
Yeah, he's shooting.
Yeah, Steve's shooting against Mike. They both missed one.
And they're both tied at a 99 currently. So we may see. I just barely caught a glimpse of that target, so I can't confirm that Mike had one out for sure.
Yeah, there's a target there, so you know we've got it.
So yeah, we're gonna have a tie and probably a single arrow shoot off then in that match. Steve Anderson and Mike Schlosser.
Absolutely, yeah. Look like maybe Mike's loosening up there a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
But look at his face. You can't tell that he's missed.
We may have, I was just trying to take a look there with my binos. I believe Stefan missed one that round also. So we may have, a shoot-off for the men's pro in both matches, one arrow. Camera 5.
It looks like Chris Schaff's dead on all of them. So.
Yeah, he got them all.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, you can see it right there on the screen. Stefan Hansen has missed one, so that's a tie match there too. So both your men's pro semifinal matches are going to come down to a single arrow, closest to center.
Those are tough matches.
Yeah, I mean,
tough to swallow, especially when both people get up there and shoot X's or something, and it's like you're getting eliminated with an X.
Sometimes,
60 yards.
you know, when I'm shooting well in these matches, I'll try to just think I'm practicing for that one arrow closest to center, you know.
Is that what you were doing on the one that?
Yeah, you know, when I hit the back wall, that's what I was doing. I just figured I'd give the guy a little buffer, you know.
We've all done that stuff, you know. One time, not necessarily, you know,
in a
similar
tournament?
situations. Well, I shot a 0 in a shoot-off one year, was leading the tournament by a bunch and shot the wrong target and 12'd it. 12'd a 47-yard deer, was supposed to shoot in like a 28-yard target in the shoot-off. Ended up 12'ing it, thought I made a good shot. I heard a bunch of gasps behind me and I thought, oh, somebody must have missed the target. So I like pull my binos out and I'm looking around. I'm like, no, nobody missed a target. And Jack Wallace's sister says, Dan, you shot the wrong target. I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, don't get me excited. Sure enough, it's 0. So I went home from that event, which is a long ride home after blowing a tournament. You know, from something stupid, whether it's bumping your trigger like you did, or not paying attention to the order that we're supposed to shoot those targets in, and it's just under pressure. You're going to make some mistakes every once in a while. And
yeah, I think part of it is, I think, you know, I tend to, you know, sometimes lose focus, start overthinking things, you know, and you just lose that rhythm that you're normally used to in practice. So it takes a lot of discipline, mental discipline, to stay, you know, in the moment and, you know, on task.
Yep.
And I really think that's why stuff like that happens. You know, even at home if you do it. I mean, my back wall in my archery shop's full of arrows.
Well, if you practice as much as you should practice for this stuff, you're gonna shoot stuff. When I was younger, I shot my parents' furnace, practicing in the basement, and you know, bumped the trigger. I've shot quite a few.
I was up on the mountain getting ready for Wales Pro Series last year, and I put target up on the back of my four-wheel. Had like a 35-degree slope and shot the hole in the tire. So I had to get back to the truck before it went flat. You know?
Well, with all the open ground, why put a target next to your four-wheeler?
You know, I figured I could do it really fast, you know.
Oh, damn. All right, so the women, we have some scores trickling in here for the women. It looks like we're going to have Holly Larson advancing over Emily McCarthy, 142-147. Cassidy Cox is going to move on over Kaylee Geist.
Yeah.
And Brianna Theodore barely beats Madison Hart by 1 point, 141 to 142. Paige Gore moves on over Lexi Keller, 146 to 141. And Sarah Lance moves on over Jamie Van Netta, 147 to 144.
So looks like we got 3 ties. We got a tie in the senior men right now. Benton Christensen and Mike Jablonski, and Darren Collins has edged out Ron Barn, 146 to 144. So we got 3 shoot-offs here, 1 arrow shoot-offs to decide the rest of the semifinals between the men and the senior men.
Is this right, so we're live here. We've got Steve Anderson in a single arrow shoot-off against Mike Schlosser, and Chris Schaff in a single arrow shoot-off against Stefan Hansen, and Benton Christensen in a single arrow shoot-off against Mike Jablonski.
Looks like Chris Schaff got that one close to center. I didn't see.
Yeah, his looks pretty dead.
Looks stout,
center just right below the X. So he will eliminate Stefan Hansen, who also shot great this weekend and just barely got bumped there by a final arrow.
That's nice to see. I like to see gold tip arrows in the finals.
That's rough. And Steve Anderson and Mike Schlosser, who moved on from that? Can't see their target. I see Greg Poole talking to.
Looks like Benton Christensen and Mike Jablonski. Mike Jablonski's got the arrow in the 10 and Benton's in the 9, so I think Mike Jablonski will be moving on there.
So the only one we're waiting for is Steve Anderson. It looks like Steve, I can see Steve's is pretty much in the scribe, just above center X.
Pretty center, a lot of holes down there, it's hard to see, so. Maybe we can get a feed here and show it to you.
Everybody's standing in front of the target.
Like Steve Anderson, looks like he's got a high side X there. I can't see Mike's target. Looks like Mike actually, looks like he maybe missed the 10, so that's going to be your gold medal match is going to be between Steve Anderson and Chris Schaff. So in this 3-star tour, it was Mike won Vegas, correct? So Mike won Vegas, Steve won Indoor Nationals, and it looks like Steve got a chance to repeat. But it'd be nice to see, Chris.
And Mike won the $10,000 last night for the car.
Yeah, he won the 10 grand last night. So, it's just a stout field, man.
Yep.
Always say it doesn't take a lot of skill to hit that 10, but it sure takes a heck of a lot of skill not to miss it.
You mean it's not that hard? It doesn't take much skill to miss. It really doesn't. You know, at 60 yards, it's not that hard to hit it as far as from for if you do things right, if we're doing stuff and our shots rolling, it seems like those shots are easy to hit sometimes, but man, the ones that miss, you don't always feel it. You don't always feel like you did anything wrong, or
for me,
it doesn't take the teeny tiniest little bit of mistake at 60 yards.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Miss.
You come out of alignment, you collapse a little bit,
Bubble.
For me, a lot of it's just purely mental. What is my, is my brain allowing me to do it?
Yep.
We all kind of put ourselves, where we, expect ourselves to be, and that's one of the big differences between amateur and professional archery is that the mental games become very, very critical, and in order to compress those high highs and low lows and get your consistency up and keep it there, it's primarily mental, because your shooters in the top 20 are all pretty much at the same level, maybe in the top 30 here. So there's not a lot of difference in them.
So you're saying I have a mental problem? Kind of.
They shot pretty good.
No, you're right. It is. You overthink stuff a lot of times at long range, and you put pressure on yourself, and that's where almost all the pressure comes from. Is people putting it on themselves for unnecessary reasons. And
when you hear a young shooter say, "I got to beat that guy," no, you got to beat you.
Yep,
If you beat you, you're going to
make good shots.
You beat yourself, you'll win most of them.
All right, so things are starting to wind down. We are eliminating people Let's see here. They just came over and took our score sheet, and now we are.
Looks like we have junior men, right? So we're going to do, looks like the bronze match for senior pro, we got Benton Christensen against Ron Bart. And in the gold medal match for the senior pro, it's going to be Mike Zobonsky against Darren Collins.
And Stefan Hansen and Mike Schlosser. That'll be a pretty good bronze medal match there.
Yeah, you know, just kind of like a little hometown contest. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they're not really from the hometown, but we all
they shoot against each other a lot.
We all think of Europe as Europe, right? You know.
Oh, we do.
So.
All right, so now we'll have some of the women that had buys in the first round. We'll have Sarah Sonichin shooting against Paige Gore. Tanya Jensen will shoot this round against Sarah Lance, and Linda Ocha Anderson will shoot against Holly Larson. And they're down to the final 8 to see who advances from here. Steve Anderson and Chris Schaff are in the gold medal match for the win.
Yeah, so a lot of good shooters coming out of, you know, Denmark, looks like, huh?
Yeah. A whole different level of shooter there. Yeah. Mike and Stefan both are phenomenal shots.
Yeah, Mike's out in the Netherlands. They said Netherlands is a very small, you know, country. I mean, I live in Utah. They said something like third the size of Utah, and there's like 11,000 archers there. And that's hard to believe. That many archers even in our state, you know.
That's neat.
That's registered archers. So, I mean, they've got a pretty good field of competitive archery there. You know, France is another big market. You know, they shoot for Matthews Archery, which has, you know, been real supportive of shooters and really understands the value of shooters to their, you know, their sales. And I think that's one of the reasons some of those guys are here, you know, because, you know, they get their travel paid and there's some incentive for them to win some good contingency money coming. So. I think Mike and Stefan, they just camp out in Mexico now, right?
Do they?
Living the high life.
Well, that'd be a good place to camp out if you're going to camp out.
I bet you all their winnings go a long way, you know.
Bet it's a lot warmer than it is in Wisconsin. I'll tell you that much.
No doubt. They might want to find a new place here in about a month or two. It's gonna get hot down there.
Yeah.
I've been in Arizona in the middle of summer. It's not pleasant.
Okay, here we go.
All right, we're starting the final gold medal match here in the men's pro and the men's senior pro, and we're in the quarterfinals with the women.
Again, for everybody that's just tuning in, we're at the 2017 NFAA Dakota Classic here in Yankton, South Dakota. And we have eliminated in the men's pro all the way down to the gold medal match where Mike Schlosser and Stefan Hansen are shooting for the bronze, and Steve Anderson and Chris Schaff are shooting for the gold medal, first and second.
You know, Danny, you look across this cross-section of archers, and you new archers getting in, or people just looking at archery. I mean, you know, one of the great things about the sport of archery is you don't have to have a certain body type or an athletic ability. It just fits all kinds of people, and it really allows an individual to, you know, get the reward of their own personal effort. So I think it did wonders for me as a kid, and you see it in a lot of kids, and you talk to their parents coming up, you know, it just keeps them out of trouble, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Like Levi Morgan said, you know, teach your kid archery, they won't have money for drugs.
That's the truth.
I always thought that was kind of funny, but there's old Mike. Beautiful shot. Didn't even look at it. He knew.
Yeah, Steve didn't look happy with the shot, but it looks like it might have caught.
You can always tell when a guy drained it. He doesn't even pick his binoculars up.
No.
Uh-oh, Chris picked his up.
Yeah, it still looked like a smooth shot.
Yeah. He probably, you know, hit the edge of the
He's
X.
moving his sight, making a sight adjustment. I'd like to see where it hit. Steve Anderson is just wadding them up down there in the middle. It doesn't look like he's even got one touching a line of an X. And
Steffen's pretty tight, too. There's no misses. Yeah, Steve's are ridiculous.
Chris is shooting great as well, though.
Yeah, Chris is still clean, though.
Yeah.
He was looks like he was hitting the low right corner when he made that side adjustment. So. Steve opened that group up on that last shot, I mean. But they're all 10s. No place on the scorecard for X's. That was pretty stout. You got their target right in front of you here, Chris Schaff and Steve Anderson. You know, it's a tie ball game. Beautiful group on them first 4 arrows by Steve.
Yeah, he just stuffed them in the middle.
You don't want to be too perfect, man. That's a heck of a reputation to have to live up to. On the senior pro, there's a lot more movement, it looks like. Looks like it's a big shake-up there in a gold medal match on the senior pro.
What happened there, Tim?
It looks to me like Mike Zabanski's got about a 2 or 3 point lead there. Darren had a rough end there. I can't tell if one of them's in the 8 or not, but hopefully we'll get a feed on here and we can show it to everybody. He probably doesn't want us to see it, but. Yeah, Darren's one of them shooters. He's got so close. I mean, he got really close. I think it was indoor nationals, right down to the finals. And
Darren Collins?
Yeah, he's just always been, you know, always there, always driving. You know, and sometimes
It doesn't take much to get beat in this stuff. That's the thing. Like difference between just a good day and a great day.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just that first win that's the hardest thing to do, and then after you've done it a while, then it's just like, man, it takes a lot to hold on.
Yeah, honestly, it's the first win of the season that's probably the hardest thing, too.
Yeah, some of my best years is when I come out and won ASA Florida. I mean, I don't know what it is. It just sets the tone.
Yep, gets you over the hump, and the rest of it seems easy.
Maybe it's just cash in the bank, huh?
I don't know.
So, Chris looks pretty confident on his walk back there. He looks like he's.
See him checking the back of his arrows though, like any good archer doing his due diligence, making sure.
Absolutely.
Like we shoot a lot of arrows in these matches and these rounds, and you better be checking your stuff because it doesn't take the teeny tiniest little crack from getting hit on the shot before, and you blow a knockout, and there goes your whole tournament.
Yeah, the best I ever did.
Get injured.
Best I ever did at our FIDA Nationals. I got second against Jesse Broadwater, and I about lost against Bridger Deaton. I think I shot a 9 and an 8 with an arrow that had been hit on the inside of the knock, and before I caught it, you know, and I knew something was wrong. I was making good shots, and then it was taken off on me. So, yeah, it's pretty important. I actually now will carry a pair of magnifier glasses. Of course, I'm getting old and I need them, but it really helps me see the damage on my knocks.
See little fine detail.
Yeah, I don't really need like a .20 magnifier, but I wear those because it really allows me to see cracks and even the slightest little, you know, bump from a point onto a knock.
Yep. I changed. I got lucky this weekend. I figured I'd have some carnage because I did shoot a bushing in the back of my stuff, and I never ruined a single arrow this weekend. But I did bust a couple knocks, bent a couple knocks, and replaced them on the spot and kept shooting them. But it's just important, you know, to really watch that stuff because at 60 yards, like you're saying, just those little dents, just the little dents on the ears of your notch or something, make you hit 3 inches left, 2 inches left, or right or high or wherever it ends up sending your arrow.
Right.
And you have to check for that stuff.
I always laugh. People call in and talk to me, and they hate pin knocks because they, you know, they can't hit them and they'll break or something like that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
If I hit a knock, I want it to break.
Yeah.
So.
Like Sarah shot a really good shot there. She's good execution. All right, so we're in the second end.
We've got a couple Sarahs out there.
To the gold medal match, Steve Anderson shoots a perfect 50 and Chris Shaw shoots a perfect 50. Mike Schlosser shoots a perfect 50 and Stefan Hansen shoots a perfect 50 in the bronze medal match. So we have some great shooting. Obviously, we're down to the top 4 guys for the tournament right now, and those guys are pounding.
Look at the focus on Tanya there. Her eyes absolutely did not leave the target. I mean, that arrow was gone 2 or 3 seconds, and her eyes were exactly the same place, so.
Just making a little sight adjustment after the shot.
Looks like she's highly focused there. Got Sarah Sonicson in the middle of your screen there.
All right, so for the women, we have Linda Ocho Anderson has a 2-point lead over Holly Larson. Cassidy Cox has a 1-point lead over Brianna Theodore, 49-48. Sarah Sonicson has shot a perfect 50, and she has a 1-point lead over Paige Gore at a 50-49. And Sarah Lance is tied with Tanya Jensen at 48-48.
Looks like, just looking down at the targets there, Sarah Sonicson's already given that lead up to Paige, so they're all tied up again.
Really?
This stuff can change rapidly.
It doesn't take anything to miss at 60. It really doesn't. I mean, you could see 4 or 5-point swings in one end.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen it before.
Yeah, I like rounds like that. So in front of us here we have Sarah Lance and Tanya Jensen's target.
Sarah shot a clean round.
Yep.
So far, she's got 4 arrows in target. Needs to put 1 more down there.
Tanya's got 2 out, so that's going to put her, behind by 2 right now. So that could be hard to catch up with.
She didn't look like
Yeah.
it surprised her. So
Yeah,
Sarah did miss 1.
Yep.
And it looked like Tanya hit her last one.
So they got a 1-point game going on there. So looks like Sarah Lance has got 1 point on Tanya there. He's looking down at the targets. It looks like Sarah Sonicson has missed 2. And Paige may have missed 3, it looks like. So
Paige has been shooting well, though. She made a bow change this year.
Paige has always shot well. I mean, I've shot some tournaments with her that I shot a tournament with her up in Oregon one time. It's similar to what we do next week at Reading. It's the NFA Marked Distance 3D Nationals. And, man, that girl can pound sometimes. It's crazy how good she can shoot.
Yeah, I've shot with her in Reading before, and she shoots very, very, very well.
That's her game,
on marked distance animals.
She knocks the center out of them dots.
Yep. All right, so we will have some scores coming in here soon. Again, we have Benton Christensen shooting against Ron Barnt, and Benton has a 1-point lead currently, and Mike Jablonski has a 4-point lead in the gold medal match against Darren Collins.
Looks down there, looking down at the targets, looks like Benton has missed 1. And quite possibly looks like Ron might be clean on that round. So
for the bronze medal match?
Yeah, looks like that one might be all tied up.
How about Mike and Stefan? Can you see those down there?
Mike and Stefan, they already pulled their arrows, so no. So
any arrows outside?
They've already pulled their arrows, so there's no way of knowing until we're going to get the feedback here on the scores. So, all right, here we got the scores back for Mike Schlosser and Stefan Hansen. Looks like Stefan took a 1-point lead there.
Yep. Steve Anderson fell behind by 1 to Chris Schaff. So Steve must have missed 2 that round. Chris missed 1. So Chris takes a 1-point lead in the gold medal match over Steve Anderson with 5 arrows to go. And for the bronze medal, we have Stefan Hansen took a 1-point lead, who's still clean. He's shooting a perfect 100 so far against Mike Schlosser, who's at a 99. Yeah. So close matches.
Has Chris ever won a major tournament?
I'm not sure.
I know he's always right there. I can't, off the top of my head, remember if he's actually won a national level tournament, but he's a solid competitor. I mean,
well, he's 5 arrows away from the win, right?
Yeah.
Right this second.
And he shoots some incredibly good qualification scores. I mean, You know, he shot, lights out down at the Arizona Cup, but that can be some pretty tricky conditions sometimes.
So Benton Christensen is tied in the senior pro division against Ron Barnt for the bronze medal, tied at a 97. And Mike Jablonski is 7 points ahead of Darren Collins. He has a pretty comfortable lead going into the final
Looks like he's
final
got that
round.
one pretty
7 points. Never say
Never say
for
never,
sure.
I mean, I'm proof of that, right?
Hey, it can happen.
I was waiting for that to happen on my target, but somehow it never did. But you don't want to wish that on anybody.
No, I hated that I was even on your bail. I felt bad.
You'd hate to live with if you ever come back and won.
Yeah.
But, it happens, so
Yep.
you just have to deal with it and learn from it and move on.
All right, so Linda Ocho Anderson has a 2-point lead over Holly Larson, 96-94. Cassidy Cox has a 3-point lead, 99-96 over Brianna Theodore. Sarah Sonichin has a 2-point lead, 98-96 over Paige Gore. And Sarah Lance has a 1-point lead over Tanya Jensen, 97-96. And we're going into the final 5 arrows here at the Yankton NFAA Dakota Classic. And we will have a winner in the men's pro division after this end, and a bronze medal winner after this end, unless we end up with a tie and have to have a shoot-off.
It looks like the first arrow, Chris Schaff and Steve Anderson are both tied. They both hit 10s.
Chris Schaff just drained his second one.
Yep. I don't know about drain, but he's staying in the 10.
That's the only thing that matters.
At this point, yes.
And Steve needs to clean them.
Steve got his second arrow.
So Steve needs to clean his, and he needs
All right.
Chris to open the door.
We got the feet up right
He's
here.
got a chance. So, and there is Chris hammers his third one. He's hitting a little bit low left, but who cares at this point? As long as they're going in there, you kind of want to just keep doing what you're doing.
He looks pretty focused. Doesn't really look too nervous. I mean, that's good. Maybe he's feeling like he's got this one here.
And there's nothing to be nervous about. He dropped 2 the first end. He's made it all the way through this.
Steve opened the door there. Steve missed another one.
And he's just shooting really strong shots.
Yeah, he just stroked another one. That gives him, so he's got, where were they sitting? So he's got 2 points on Steve. He should have this in the bag.
He's just got to put this one in the yellow.
Yes,
and
sir.
we will have Chris Schaff become your 2017 NFAA Yankton Dakota Classic champion.
I'm sure he can use the money with his new family, and I'm really happy for him. That's good to see a guy, do well. There it is. There's your champion in the men's pro,
Boom.
Chris Schaff, out of Great Falls, Montana.
And what a great, shoots a final arrow for an X. See what Steve does here for his last arrow, but it doesn't really matter. So Steve will come out of this with a silver medal. I mean, Steve shot his butt off this week, and he shot so good too. And I believe we have Chris Schaff's first national win here, and shot absolutely fantastic to do it.
It looks like Steven Hansen and Mike Schlosser both clean that, so that's going to give Stephen Hansen the bronze too. So.
With a perfect 150 then.
Yeah. What do we got going on in the girls here? Looks like Sarah Sonicson just cleaning house. She shot another perfect round that time, and Paige missed 2 more.
So that should move her on.
Yeah.
How about Sarah and Tanya?
Sarah Lance and Tanya on the end. It looks like actually Tanya has missed 1, but Sarah Lance is actually, holy cow, she's missed 4 points.
She missed 4?
Yeah.
She had a 1-point lead going in, so she might, Tanya Jensen will probably move on then for that round if she's only missed 1.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, you can see right there how things can just flip on its head here. Tanya Jensen has 2 points out, one point. So she's,
1 point.
yeah, she's going to move on there. So, yeah, wow.
So that'll put her at a 45. And it'll put Sarah somewhere around a 93.
That's important too when you're shooting these
43.
matches. You know, I think to make sure you're just focusing on your target, and not watching what the other guy's doing, because a lot of times shooters will shoot to what the other person is doing. You know, and you know, I try to really, when I don't want to look, you know, because I'm pretty bad at you know
Paying attention to stuff you're not supposed to be paying attention to.
Yeah, you know, yeah, I got enough to worry about. Just take care of myself here.
I couldn't imagine being in your head. I seen you listening to headphones. I had to go. Was that Indoor Nationals? I had to walk over there and see what you were listening to, because I was like, I just wondered. My curiosity got to me, and I was like, I wonder what kind of music
It's just
the Hammer Tim Gillingham listens to at a major national event. And surprisingly, it was not your twangity twang country, but it was your old style country music.
Little Mark
Just
Chestnut.
little relaxing country music.
Little Texas.
I was
hockey
expecting
talk.
like Eminem or something crazy.
Yeah, right.
Just something that was unexpected out of Tim.
Zamfir and the pan flute. Believe it or not, I actually bought that once.
What's that? Eminem or?
No, Zamfir and the pan flute.
I think our battery went dead here on our scoreboard.
No, sometimes you just like to, you know, listen to some music to get yourself in a, you know, feeling like you do at home, you know, more normal. You try to, sometimes you get under pressure and you get in tournaments, you try to overthink things and try to over control things. So if you can just relax, you know, and try to make it, you know, try to adopt the same pace you do at home, and, you know, in the same feel you get at home. I mean, that's what music tends to help. You know, so.
Like, so quits like automatically closing. Don't worry about it. We're about wrapped up.
Hey, Henry. I need pictures of Chris.
Hey, Brandon. You want this?
If it comes off and the code is TG, and you'll never remember. Just keep it going. I need some pictures of Chris. All right, so we got everything decided here, it looks like, but the women's pro. So we should be in the semifinals here on the next round with women's pro. So that'll.
Those are some good matches. We've had some good tight matches here finishing up. Chris Schaff again wins in the men's pro over Steve Anderson, who takes silver, and Stefan Hansen takes the bronze. And I'm actually going to pass my mic off here to Brandon Reyes. I'm going to jump on the road and try to get knock these 7-hour drives out. We fly out tomorrow morning to Reading.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, it's a short week for everybody. Reading starts for a lot of people on Thursday, so I head out Wednesday morning.
Yep.
So we'll have a safe trip home. Danny, it was good commentating with you here. And
Always a pleasure, Tim. And we will see you. Safe travels home. We'll see you in a week. And it's a long month for us. We have this event that we go straight to from here. We shoot Reading, and then from there we have to go straight down to the ASA in Augusta, Georgia, and then straight up to the IEO in West Virginia.
I think I have trouble. It's a girl. Yeah, we got the women. Champion is Chris Schaff. Off the top of your head, is Chris that you can remember of? I know he's always there quite a bit.
Yeah, I just can't remember what it is. I know he's won a couple.
Was it? Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but he's a heck of a shooter, and it's good to see him finally get another W on the win column. How was your weekend?
Rough.
Rough? Yeah, well,
Looking forward to Reading, but yeah, it's
Mama said there'd be days like those.
yeah, it wasn't bad. I missed the cut by 1 point, but yeah, it's those ones at 40 that you know you got to clean.
Yeah, those are
That,
mental.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the best I've ever shot 40. I mean, usually I'm that guy that misses one at 40, and this year I got a really good setup, and pretty excited about these Bowtechs that I'm shooting. I'm pretty happy with them. I haven't really put a lot of time into them, and they seem to be pretty easy for me to shoot. So
Yeah, I watched you shoot yesterday.
150, yeah, solid.
And just so you know, got some young adults practicing on the left side of the field there, and so the women's matches are temporarily suspended until they get caught up with the young adults here. So just a little bit of a scoring situation to get everybody on the same playing field so they all get finished at the same time. So we're just going to hold tight here for just a moment.
Okay, everybody, just a quick announcement. You can see we had a little technical difficulty here. We've got 2 young men that have 3 young men that All right, we are now back on the regular schedule.
All right, everybody, we're here at the 2017 Dakota Classic. I'm Tim Gillingham. I'm here with Brandon Reyes. We're about to get started on the women's semifinal matches. We have Sarah Sonneson with Tanya Jensen and Linda Choa Anderson against Cassidy Cox. Those are our final four for the women's pro. And they're getting to the line right now for their first round. Again, men's pro champion Chris Schaff. And senior pro champion Mike Jablonski. Those matches have already taken place, so we're just finishing up the women here. You got
Good
Cassidy.
look at Linda and Cassidy.
Yep. They move a little bit more than the guys.
Just a little. Bows look a lot lighter, though. Than
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, most women are definitely going to shoot a much lighter bow. I've seen a couple women that shoot some pretty stout setups.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I saw Sarah Sonneson just shot a 148 the last match, so that was the highest one on the board
Yeah.
in that round.
You haven't watched her shoot?
She's pretty quick. I haven't seen her here this weekend, but I remember watching her in Vegas and Lancaster, where she was shooting a thumb-activated release, and it was literally one fluid motion, and it was gone in 4 or 5 seconds.
Wow.
Quick.
You shoot what kind of release?
She was shooting a thumb-activated.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well-
I'm not sure if that's what she's using now, but I know she moves back and forth.
It's all about the strength of the mind. They look like they're just moving right along.
Yes. Yep.
So we got a look of the two Danish girls here, Tanya Jensen and Sarah Sonneson.
There we
And
go.
looks like Sarah's just training them. So whatever she's doing looks like it's working, huh?
Yep. She is shooting a thumb activated.
Yeah,
so
it looks like she's got one of your releases.
yeah. Yep. Shooting a Abyss.
Yep.
You notice it's real quick. Watch
Thumb
she
trigger.
go
Yep.
on.
Up, on, and in.
Yep.
It's the best way, right?
Yeah.
No time to creep, no time to collapse.
No time to move.
Well, if you're in the middle, I guess that's a good thing.
Yep.
She was
taking a
looking
good
at that one like maybe she was worried about it a little bit, but there's no expression on that face.
No, she looks content, so I'm pretty sure it was probably down the pipe.
Yeah, she's done. Both of them have done really well. But Sarah won Vegas, right?
No, Tanya won Vegas.
Tanya
Yep.
won.
Sarah won Lancaster, and pretty sure she won the indoor nationals too.
Oh wow.
These two have been dominant
Yeah.
this year.
No doubt.
There you go.
Did one of these two win the Neems event also?
I cannot confirm that. I'm
remem-
pretty sure it was Tanya,
Yeah, I think you're right there. I know.
because that was pretty much her first big one.
I was watching one of those matches and she knocked out one of my shooters. And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tanya
that was my first experience with these two girls. So.
yeah. And they have been on fire this year, both of them.
Looks
Now
like
they're-
Linda's pretty stout there. She's got one really close, but it looks like
might be all
probably
square.
a clean round. I mean, I don't know. That's a X10, so
Yeah.
it's probably it's close.
Yeah.
We'll just let them look at it. If that's the case, then it looks like that match is tied between Cassidy and Linda.
Yeah, that is
I don't know.
close.
It looks to me like it's probably out.
Yeah, I'm
so
with you.
I always say, like X10s are so tiny. It's just like if they look like they're close, they're probably
Yeah,
out.
probably out. Yep.
But we have kind of a bad angle here, so. It never did get a feed on the other girls. Oh. Okay, so that's the end of
Round one.
round one. We still don't have any confirmation on the two Danish girls, Sarah and
No, I'm pretty sure Sarah drained all 5 of them, and Tanya has one out. So
okay.
we'll confirm that. But yeah, they
Maybe we can get a look here on the screen.
shooting well.
Okay, so there's our scores for the first round. It looks like Linda must have caught that one, so she's got a clean round of 50 against Cassidy Cox's 49. Sarah Sonicson looked like you said, cleaned them up, and Tanya Jensen missed just the one. So we got a couple real tight matches here in the women's semifinals. Well, there's really no reason the women should be shooting same as the men. I mean, there's known distance. There's not. I mean, outside it's a little different. Women shoot a little bit lighter setups, and so they get blown around a little bit more in the wind. But women tend to sometimes be a little stronger mentally too. It seems like. Maybe we care too much. I don't know. Yeah. No doubt. It looks like the two Danish girls, Sarah and Tanya, both missed one on their first arrow. Looks like after the second arrow, Tanya's actually missed both of hers, and Sarah hit her second one, so that's going to give her a 2-point lead. Okay, so we got the targets here on the screen. What do you see, Brandon? Oh. Looks like Linda and Cassidy are all cleaned up, so that still leaves Linda 1 point in the lead. Sarah's just so stoic, isn't she? Yeah, Tanya's, yeah. They both missed, Sarah missed that first one, and then she's just drained the next three in the X. So, wow. That hurts. I mean, you never know, though, because we watched it in the quarterfinals, that last match against, I can't remember who it was. It was Sarah Lance and whoever she was shooting on. That was a big flip-flop right at the end. Mm-hmm. Yep, should have a 2-point lead. Yeah, she's shooting really strong. You look like Henry Bass up there. He used to tell me he used to text to keep him from getting nervous, Oh, is that who she's coached by? If my phone were to ding or vibrate in my pocket, I couldn't do it. Oh, it would be a total distraction. Yeah. Okay, we're about finished up here at the 2017 Dakota Classic. This is the third leg of the three-star tour. A lot of familiar faces, very talented pool of shooters here. Probably my favorite of the three events. I mean, 20 yards gets a little dull sometimes, but it's fun. It's always fun shooting arrows at distance. They used to have this tournament outside, and I guess I was the only guy that used to like that. This place is. Yeah. Yeah. This started as the what they call Atlantic City Classic. Used to be back in the day. It was way back in Atlantic City and Pittsburgh, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's understandable why people didn't like it outside. Today is pretty nasty out there. The year I won it, it was brutal. So it was pretty nasty, but it's a beautiful place that Easton Foundation's put here in Yankton, South Dakota, and all they're going to build is make it bigger. Oh wow! So wow, it's a lot of great work from the Easton Foundation. You know, thank Jim Easton and the crew there and Greg for donating back into archery. And we have these centers in several different places around the country. In fact, where I live in Utah, we have one there. I was up there the first time last year, and just beautiful, beautiful center. We have the Big Sky Open there now, so another one of my favorite events of the year. It's a lot of fun. I mean, we're on AstroTurf in the back, and it's an impressive facility. So the lighting in here too is just tremendous. I mean, it's so bright in here. All right, we're getting ready for the final match here, or the final end of the women's pro. Okay. Yeah, so Sarah's got a pretty commanding lead, so barring any technical difficulties, unless she pulls a Tim Gillingham. All right. You gotta laugh at it sometimes, you know. Yeah, it looks like the first two arrows for Sarah and Tanya are both in the middle. Same thing with Linda and Cassidy, so. Got Linda Cho at full draw here. I guess Steve probably would want me to throw the Anderson in there. Yep. Yeah, Steve kind of runs the shooting staff for Easton, and so it's a good fit for them. They're a dynamic archery couple. Like Tanya has missed one more, and Sarah is just knocking the center out of the X. She's got 3 X's. It looks like Linda's got them all, and so does Cassidy. So that's going to be your tightest match here. But it doesn't look like Linda's got her foot on the brake at all. Sarah's got 4 X's down there. She is just knocking the center out. Yeah, she missed that last one. Linda did. Well, actually, no, she got one more, but she did miss one there. She turned around and looked at Steve like, "Oh, I knew I missed that one." Shooters pretty well know. I mean, you pretty well know as soon as yeah. So here we got Sarah Sonic. So she must have missed her last arrow. So she's got 3 X's, a 10 and a 9. We're at 49. And it looked like Tanya had a 49 too, right? So that's going to have Sarah moving on to the gold medal match, and Tanya will probably be in the bronze medal match with Cassidy Cox, it looks like, at this point. So. Yeah. Well, me and Danny were talking earlier about, just you see a lot of Matthew shooters here, and a lot of European Matthew shooters here. Just, these companies spend a lot of money to support their shooters, and they see the value in them, and so, should be an encouragement to new shooters coming in. It's a tough, it's a hard road. I mean, as a pro shooter, it took me 20 years. I kind of went the long way, but spent a little too much time in nowhere land. Been Alaska and Wyoming, but it's sure. Oh yeah, We had a young 10-year-old kid here shoot a perfect round this weekend. Oh, impressive. Impressive shooting. Shot 53 X's. Yep. Connor's been a fire. He won the ASA last, 2 weeks ago in Texas or 3. Connor's definitely coming up the ranks. You know, you see all these young kids working hard at it, you know, and their parents behind them and driving around all these events. And yeah, I shot with him the first day. He's a really good shooter. Well, and you know, there's a lot more shooters out there, and if you know, we can just get more money in this sport and more incentive, I mean, you're just going to see them come out of the woodwork, you know. I remember when ASA had a limit of 200 pros, and we used to fill it up simply because there was enough money to win, and there was such enough incentive out there that, you know, it drove it. So it's you know, archery's doing pretty well with a lot of the programs here in the U.S. and you know. And it's good for kids growing up to, you know, to get something like archery to put their energy into and their focus into, and it, you know, it's a big self-esteem builder for a lot of kids. Pretty awesome shooting. So we got, you know, the 2 winners in the women's pro, 149, 148. That's pretty stout. Yeah, that's going to be a battle. Well, no doubt. You know, I mentioned something on Facebook last night. Whoever wins this tournament has run the gauntlet, you know. You know, there's a lot of... The women don't have quite as many as the men's pro, but, you know, you get in that top 32 men's pro, it's like Lancaster. It's like anybody can win. I've seen the number 1 seed get knocked off by the 64 seed.
Right. Yep.
You know, so with a perfect round, you know, so it can happen.
Absolutely. Well, we saw that last year here, where Rio shot a 600 and lost 150, 149 in the first match.
Can
So
happen.
that number 1 seeding, you know, in pretty much any of these head-to-head type formats.
Yeah, I know me personally, I mean, I think it's easier for me to focus on, you know, those 15 arrows than it is to sometimes the whole round, you know, where I know I got to be clean kind of overwhelms me.
3 hours of trying to control yourself is much more difficult than, you know, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. Yep. It's the way it's just you're dealing with that guy that's sitting there right in front of you, and you don't have to worry about, you know, games like Vegas or some of the indoor games. It's
where you know you can't miss.
yeah, it's kind of a game of not, you know, you can only screw it up type deal.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when we get outside or you start dealing with the much more difficult round or the wind, then your mind kind of flips over into, you know, trying to hit it mode.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can keep all those crazy thoughts at bay, you know, it makes things a lot easier.
Sure.
I think that's what makes old Mike Slosser and Stephen Hansen and Jesse Broadwater and some of those guys quite a bit better.
Got it ironed out. They're hanging new faces. We should be underway here in just a moment.
All right, so again, we're here at the 2017 Dakota Classic. We're into the final gold medal matches and the bronze medal match for the women's pro. We'll have Sarah Sonicson and Linda Choa Anderson for the gold medal match, Cassidy Cox and Tanya Jensen for the bronze medal. We're getting started here very matches here for the women's pro.
I think we might have some.
Bear with us. Looks like we have Greg Poole here interviewing Connor Sears. Connor was the amateur champion last night in the shoot-off. Used to be a car shoot-off, but the amateur shoot-off for $5,000 and the pro shoot-off for $10,000. So Mike Schlosser was the winner of the shoot-off. That's a pretty exciting event, isn't it, Brandon?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's well, I think they said the 5 ring is equivalent to about the X ring on that target, and you start at 10 yards and work in 5-yard increments all the way out. And this year it made it to 50 where Mike won it. And I think there was 4 guys.
Yeah, I think the year I won it one year, it was
Outdoors.
30 outdoors. It was, I think it was 30 or 35, but we were dealing with about a 25-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, anybody outdoors, it was, you saw a lot of shooters that, necessarily weren't your Jesse Broadwaters or Stephen Hansons that won that event. So.
We got our NFA Field Nationals here this year, and this is the first year that it's actually a 3-day event. Now, the pros have been a 3-day event for, but it's kind of like, you can shoot a couple days of practice, and the amateurs have been a 5-day event for a long, long time.
Right.
So I think, is the first year for a 3-day event?
I think so.
So, I mean, you get what you get. In this place here, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So there may not be a lot of terrain around here like you do in some field courses, but wind is probably going to be the animal that you have to deal with.
It's so flat out here, you pretty much guaranteed wind of some sort.
Yeah, and just to let our viewers know here, this is the third leg of the 3-star tour, but it's also one of the events that you do see a little bit more point swings in the NFA Shooter of the Year race.
Yeah.
So we have Vegas Indoor Nationals, the Dakota Classic, Reading Classic Trail Shoot, which is the NFA 3D Mark Nationals next weekend. And you're going to see about the same point swings, from the top 20 guys, about 10-point swing in there.
Right.
And then the final event for that Shooter of the Year race is going to be the NFA Field Nationals. Yeah. Now, the Field Nationals, as of it's been about 5 years now, we're scoring the X ring. So that is where you see the most movement in scores.
Six points, right, for the X ring?
Yeah, I mean, you get 6 points for the X ring in field now. So it's important to at least stay in striking distance, because moving up this field of, Jesse Broadwaters is, he's usually the guy to beat there.
Yeah. He definitely prepares for that one.
You just got to, like I said, that was one of my goals of coming here, is just stay within striking distance. I definitely shoot better, I think, when it becomes more difficult. And if there's a little wind, I tend to move up the food chain a little faster.
Right.
But it's a prestigious award, I think, and
that's quite a few tournaments that you gotta perform at the very, very high level.
Yeah, against a field of shooters that is just, you have to be prepared. You have to.
And right now it looks like the weather's going to be good in Reading, but bad weather there could
Yeah, but it's funny is you never know. You know, I've seen the weather so bad there, and Roger Hoyle shoot a new record. It's
Yeah.
like, how, I can't hardly feel my fingers, and the guy's like, unbelievable. A lot more dynamics once you get outside. This here is just, you know, the little bit longer distances. It kind of takes us from indoor and kind of transitions us into outdoor. So, like you said, next weekend we've got the Reading Classic Trail Shoot, aka the NFA 3D Mark Distance Nationals. So, it's basically a field shoot on animal targets, right?
That's right. Yep.
It's a pretty cool venue. That club goes into a heck of a lot of work to put on that shoot.
Yeah, and it's
You got
sold
uphills.
out. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first year they had to cap the numbers. They were just getting so many people they couldn't deal with it, so
Right.
they actually have capped the numbers at somewhere around 1,700 shooters. So can you imagine running 1,700 shooters in a 70 target course?
Yeah, that's a busy weekend for those folks. and
It
they do
is.
well to do what they do.
It's a great tournament venue, though. It's just a very beautiful range, and usually Reading, you know, you never know out there. They're calling for a little bit of rain on Sunday, it looks like, so I may not have timed that right. I think I have Bigfoot on Sunday, but
I know I do.
but you never, you got to shoot them all.
That's right.
In fact, we have Steve Anderson on the screen here with the big GP. They're about the same size.
Steve looks like he's actually, his eyes look a little, I don't know, they're pretty close. He's not even standing up.
If these guys fly on a plane, they both have to sit on opposite sides. I was telling McCarthy earlier, I said, Steve kind of ruins my, my theory on tall guys can't aim good enough to shoot a back tension.
Yeah.
I got to come up with another excuse.
Yeah, he's definitely done that well this year for sure, and the last few years.
Yeah, he's really shooting strong, no doubt. And it's good, Steve works for Easton Archery. It's good to see him, get some support from, it's nice when you can work in the industry and work, for an employer that, believes in what you believe in, and
Sure.
your interests are aligned. And,
Yep.
I've been very fortunate, as have you, I think,
Yeah.
in that same situation.
Yeah, it's a great industry to work in, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
if you didn't have somebody that supported you, it'd be definitely a tough battle. There's a
Yeah.
lot of tournaments to go to, and
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working in the industry for 15 years now, and it has its pros and cons, but it's been a really good run at it. And when you can do something you love, it makes working extra hours and things not be so rough. So.
right. Yeah. Looks like we're getting ready to get underway here.
Yeah, we're getting underway here. It looks like for the gold medal match here in the Women's Pro, you see on the screen to your right there, we have some of the young adults. Connor, Sears on the right side here. And, for your young adult shoot-off.
And there's the ladies in the middle.
And we got the ladies right in the middle. See if we can look downrange and see what's taking place. So looks like Linda Bono, pretty solid.
So she was with her execution.
Thing with Cassidy. Cassidy's second arrow is pretty solid 10. Same thing with Linda. But Sarah Sonicson has a wild one.
Oh,
She got one clear over on the 9-8 line. It stayed a 9, so it's only a 1-point swing, so
Tanya tried to add a little bit of English in on that one too. So
it must have worked because it's right in the middle.
Linda.
Caught it though. She caught it. She's still clean, and Sarah has 2 10s and a 9. Like Tanya just dropping them in there. She's got about a. It's like Cassie's missed one out the bottom, so. We got a 1 point swing bronze medal match now and a 1 on the gold medal match. Linda shot solid. Looks like got them all.
Yeah,
Tanya Jensen just missed one, so. Jen has a 1 point lead. Sarah Sonicsen's on her final arrow.
Linda, just a little movement.
Yeah, but she just
drops it in there.
She drained it.
Looks like 3 X's,
So
a 10 and a 2 10s.
Yeah, it looks like we got a close one there on Sarah too. I don't know if it's in or out. Did you get a good look at it?
No.
So it looks like Linda's leading the match pretty solidly. She had a 50, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's pretty solid.
You will not lose shooting 50s.
Yeah, we're talking about that on a strategy. You can get lucky and come up against the right guy at the right time, or you can take Mike Slosser's strategy and Steve Anderson's and just
Don't miss.
don't miss. And it's hard to lose.
It's hard to lose. That's right. Until that shoot off.
Let's see get Connor over here. See how he's doing. These guys might still be practicing. Yeah, they got a lot of arrows in the target, so I'm assuming they're practicing. I think he had 8 arrows in there, so I'm assuming he's practicing.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, there's Linda's handsome husband, Steve Anderson, there talking to Greg Poole. I don't know where we imported that guy from. He must be from California, right? Oregon.
Yep.
That's kind of the same state, right?
I think so. Where we're all headed next weekend.
Yeah. Well, California's not too bad up there in the north
northern
side.
side, yeah.
Beautiful up in there. Nice place to live. Minus the politics, I guess. So it's showing Okay, so we have the scores back for the first round of the gold medal or the medal matches here. So we have Tanya Jensen leading Cassidy Cox 49-47, and Linda Choa Anderson leading Sarah Sonicson by 2 with a 50
to 48.
48. So looks like that top arrow must have been out for Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these little bitty arrows, man, if they look like they're close, they're usually
Or the
out.
one was in the red, because she had her close one on the red.
Yeah,
too,
I think
so.
that was. I got a good look at that one. I think it was in. All right, so we're getting ready here at the 2017 Dakota Classic for the second round of the medal matches, the Women's Pro Division. We've got 2 Danish girls here, Sarah Sonicson and Tanya Jensen, and we have Cassidy Cox and Linda Ochoa Anderson.
Don't do it yet because they're not on the line. But when it's on the line, you're going to have to stand up just a tiny bit. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go to the targets. Or actually, sorry. When they step on the line, push that up a bit. I'm going to take that camera. And then on one, can you pan up a little bit too because it'll be so far up? No. No. Don't touch anything until they step up the line.
Looks like they're downrange fixing one of the target butts, so we got a little bit of a delay here. These are actually pretty nice targets to shoot into, weren't they, Brandon?
Yeah, and I think those foam things on the front that
Yeah.
kept the target faces, nice and flat,
Yeah,
as well as your arrows, no
Yeah.
kicking.
Yeah.
That was a nice addition.
Yeah, that's a nice addition. Sometimes these bag targets can give you some pretty good kicks.
Yep.
So
And the rubber on the back kept you from blowing through. So.
yeah, I'm shooting a lot of energy and 73 pounds, and I didn't have any issues. I know McCarthy shoots about 70 also, 72,
Yep,
with
72.
a little bitty arrow. And I was watching him, he was getting a little deep on them, but these are pretty nice targets to shoot into. All right, so we got the officials walking back now. We're getting ready to start our second round of the medal matches.
There's the 2 ladies competing for the bronze.
Yep, they have a 2-point swing between them, as do Linda Choa Anderson and Sarah Sonicson on the gold medal match. So this middle round probably is the biggest deciding factor,
Yes,
If
it
you can
definitely
get
sets
back
the
into it.
stage.
Yeah.
Final.
Usually when I know if I'm ever in the lead in a match and I can extend the lead, it's usually psychologically, I feel like I got it at that point.
Yep.
So.
We'll see what these ladies do.
And if you're on the flip side of that, you just got to try to put a clean round out there and put the pressure on the other guy,
That's right.
or girl in this instance. Okay, so Sarah's got her first arrow down, and it is absolutely dead center. We got a left X for Linda Ochoa Anderson. Looks like we kind of got about the same thing on the bronze medal side.
Yep, 2 10s.
2 10s. You see Tanya just not even slowing down. She's focused.
Cassidy misses one out low right. Tanya drains it. So
Looks like Sarah Sonicson, but 2 of them dead center, and Linda Cho Anderson has 2 arrows in the 10, but one of them was kind of a worm burner at 3 o'clock. But it scores the same.
that's right. Ten for Cassidy.
I think Sarah's got 3 of them just absolutely in the middle.
She's trying to put a little pressure on the leader.
Yep. Here's Sarah for her Sonicson full draw with her 4th arrow. Tanya just nailing the center out of it. I guess that's how you do it when
That's
you're from
right.
Denmark, huh?
There's another 9 for Cassidy, so it's
Looks like
Tanya is pouring it on.
Sarah Sonicson has one at 3 o'clock. It's really close, but at this point, she's got a fairly commanding lead. Or actually, not a lead.
No,
She's
down
actually
2,
trailing.
yeah.
What am I thinking?
Yeah. She needs it if it can hang.
Yeah, she definitely needs to be putting the pressure on.
That looked a little better.
Pretty hard to beat Linda. Doesn't look like she's making any mistakes.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Linda got all those, looks like.
Yeah, Linda with a 50 for sure.
And there's one real close one there. If
Screamer. Yeah, on the right
yeah,
side.
Sarah doesn't get that one. She's really,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough for her, put it that way.
Yeah, the way Linda's shooting, that is.
Yeah, that'd be
hard to
neat to
overcome.
be neat to see Linda pound at 150, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be
She's
pretty
shooting well
impressive.
enough to do it.
Oh yeah. Put the pin in the middle and pull the trigger, right?
She looks relaxed, right? No pressure.
I don't think the girl, I don't think the girls get that crazy like some of us.
They're probably talking about fingernail polish or something.
Oh
like
yeah.
that. It just keeps their mind clear.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty close. I don't know. That one's got a shot, it looks like, with Sarah.
Yeah, I think it's. I would say it's probably. I'm gonna say end.
That's my thinkings on it.
I think
too.
it's probably just touching.
have one match and then they go to their quarter.
As soon as I have the score, I the score of the bronze.
So it doesn't look like we got a lot of movement in the scores, is it?
No, I think we're kind of settling in here, and
Kind of what is probably what's going to end up.
yeah. Especially with just 3 ends, you don't have a lot of time for too much movement.
That's true. It seemed that the women are that much different than the guys, really. It's just a 1 or 2 point game.
Kind of just a quicker version of world archery, you know. And instead of shooting 3 arrow matches,
Right.
we're shooting 5 arrow matches for the same
Same score, yeah.
same score. So it's gets it done a little sooner, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to see a lot of movement, like we said.
Yeah, World Archery's set up to where you're watching just a couple athletes at a time, so it's a little bit easier to follow.
Yep.
You know, archery's usually a little bit more fun to do than it is to watch, but they're
Absolutely.
making efforts to try to make that a little bit more watchable.
I wanted, but I didn't want it then yet.
But if you don't tell me anything, I go ahead doing the other.
I don't know about you, but I've been doing it for 35 years, and it's kind of, it's ironic. I nothing I'd rather do. It's just something relaxing about going out and slinging arrows.
Yeah, it's came a long way too. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time also, and it's just amazing the way things have changed over 25 years or 30.
Yeah, and it's easy, you know, for people new getting into it. I think it's easier. The learning curve's a lot faster now.
Yep.
You know, to get a person up to a competitive level, there's,
Oh yeah. Well, the internet.
the internet, communicate.
Most of the stuff you and I learned was through trial and error, or, you know, learn by what you screwed up.
How we're teaching the internet.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot of self-taught is not the case any longer.
It's funny, you know, you get on the internet and you Google your own name and you see all these videos you completely forgot about that you did in a little interview or something.
5 or 10 years ago.
You know, I remember reading through Bowhunter magazine trying to glean anything I could out of there, you know.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now there's, you know, just a plethora of stuff. Plus, you know, a lifetime of doing it. It teaches you an awful lot,
Yep.
and especially when you're around the best guys in the industry.
Well, the final end about to start here.
All right, final arrow are flying down range right now, so it looks like Cassidy and Tanya both drained one dead center. Sarah Sonicson has a liner, and Linda has an X on her first arrow.
I looked for Linda to kind of pick up the pace a little bit.
Well,
And
Tanya actually threw one clear on the 9-8 line.
Linda's not even looking back, so she
Yeah,
looks content.
she just, you got them right here in front of us. I mean, just two
X's,
two
yeah.
solid X's, you know. So, yeah, it looks like she's feeling it, huh?
Yeah.
She's got all the confidence in the world. She's about to close the door here.
Yep. Yep.
So right now, before this match, Linda's got a 2-point lead over Sarah. So,
100 to 98.
Yeah.
That's pretty stout.
and Tanya's got a 4-point lead over Cassidy. So,
Yep.
probably not a lot going to happen here with, you know, Tanya's got her 3 out of the 4 in the 10 ring. So, you know, barring any really bad shots, Cassidy really can't catch up to her. So,
Looks like Linda may have a close one there.
yeah.
No.
But with a 2-point lead, I mean,
Yeah,
again,
she's got a little room to play with.
she'd almost have to put one out in the red to even give Sarah a chance. So, looks like,
Ooh, she didn't look happy with that one.
I shouldn't have said nothing. No, no.
But
looks-
Sarah's got one out too.
It looks like a 9, so she's probably good. It looks like Linda Choi Anderson's going to be our women's pro champion here. Sarah put her last one right in the X.
I think Sarah pretty much had to
Yeah, so even if
clean it out there.
yeah, exactly.
For
So
sure.
with the one miss, there's no way that they will even tie. So that's going to give Linda Ochoa Anderson the gold medal and the win here. So congratulations to her. That was some really fine shooting. She ended up with a 149. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
And you know, Tanya, you know, she cleaned up pretty good, won down that match, and you know, Cassidy looks to have you know, the same. So they're going to sit right where they are with a 4-point spread.
Yep,
Looks like so. Tanya Jensen will be your bronze medalist. Sarah Sonicson, your silver medalist, and your gold medal champion is Linda Choi Anderson here at the 2017 Dakota Classic in Yankton, South Dakota. And that wraps up the 3-star tour for the pro divisions. We've got some of the young adult divisions to finish up here, and
That'll be a wrap.
this weekend's going to be a wrap, looks like. So if any of you guys are, you know, looking at getting into some of these tournaments, you can go to NFA's website, NFA Archery. There's information on tournaments there, you know, where they're at. You know, this is part of the 3-star tour, which starts in Las Vegas, Nevada in February. You have the indoor nationals, a variety of different places.
If there are any
Cincinnati
ties,
this
please
year,
let the
Ohio,
official know.
and then that was in March, and then here we are at the end of April, first part of May in Yankton, South Dakota. So several events left in the NFA schedule. We've got the NFA Mark 3D Nationals next weekend in Reading, South Dakota. California, I'm sorry. Reading, South Dakota. Come on. Yeah, right. And then the Field Nationals, the Outdoor Field Nationals is here, right back here in Yankton, South Dakota. So they have several ranges right down here on the river behind the building. And
I think 3 things that you're probably going to have to deal with then are probably wind, bugs, and heat.
Yeah, let's hope not bugs, man. I shot out here one year and the bugs were unbelievable.
Yeah,
You've never got to experience 30 biting flies on your legs at one time and trying to get a shot off. I don't know that I've ever been more miserable in my life. I spent 8 years in Alaska too. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen bugs like that.
Yeah, it was,
That was
pretty rough.
That was Amazonian-ish. Is that a word?
It is now.
So. All right, so we got the final scores up here. It's 149 to 146. Linda Ochoa Anderson over Sarah Sonicson, and Tanya Jensen 148 to 143 over Cassidy Cox.
It's official.
That's official. Linda Ochoa Anderson is your gold medal champion. Well, it's been good commentating with you here, Brandon.
Yeah, very nice.
So maybe we can do this again sometime.
We still have like 3 more minutes.
It's like Greg Poole's down there with Bo Junkie doing the official rundown with our champion, Linda Ochoa Anderson. Always a gracious champion. Won a lot of events in archery.
Yeah. She's a standout in Mexico.
Yeah, she come from the Mexican team. Her uncle, is it her uncle, Ruben? Ruben
Yeah.
Ochoa
Yeah.
has a distributorship down there, and you know, a big part of the archery program in Mexico. So
Absolutely.
it runs in the family.
And a good 1-2 finish for the Andersons this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, 1-2 finish. They tend to do that a little.
Yeah, I mean, just watching both of them shoot, just, you know, here on this, the Linda and then watching Steve compete, you know, today, they shot a lot of X's.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, if you're shooting this type of game and
Yeah, you know, they drive each other in competition. They're both good enough to drive each other too,
Yeah.
you know. And I
Yeah.
think Steve talks sometimes about Linda, you know, beating him all the time in practice. So,
Yep.
you know, when you're a guy, you don't want to get beat by your wife, right?
Right, yeah.
I think it would be kind of cool though, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it would be great.
But you know, you listen to some of the dynamics of archery couples, and you know, I was talking with Danny McCarthy earlier, and him and Emily, and he says, I mean, it's hard to be married to and coach the same person, you know.
Yeah, we talked too about
So
they were shooting 100-yard groups getting ready for Reading, and Dan was frustrated that the groups that Emily was shooting over him, so
yeah,
they were drives them to work harder for sure.
Sure, absolutely. You know, you can't appreciate winning unless you lose, right?
That's right. Yep.
So you see our champion, women's champion, walking down the lanes right there, and her husband right behind her, second place finisher in the men's pro division, Steve Anderson. And seeing that beautiful mountain scene on the end there,
Yep.
it's right where my arrow landed.
Yeah, I saw you climbing up. And that's going to close it out for us.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap on that. See you guys next time.